Okay, so now that we know the basics of how water forms into rivers, can we now decide what direction it's going to flow? And the answer is yes, and it's a fairly simple explanation that water always flows downhill. Well, that's great as long as you can decide which way is downhill. And it's a little more complicated than you might imagine when you're looking at a map and you're trying to draw out an area that contributes to feeding one river. That area that you draw out is called a drainage basin. And that drainage basin is simply the area on which, if water falls, will all drain into a common river. This particular example shows the drainage basin for this one particular river and how the drainage divide is denoted by that dashed line, and the drainage divide connects all the high points from which water will fall down into that center stream. So if water falls onto one side of the drainage divide, it'll flow one way, and if it flows onto the other, it'll flow the other way. This is extremely important, again, if we're looking at drinking water sources, for example, because let's say that there is some sort of mine or some other point source pollution. We need to know which drainage basin it is in so that we can decide downstream what area it's affecting. Other things like mosquito spray, for example, or getting a volume for the amount of water that will be coming down a stream, whether it create a flood or not. So being able to delineate this drainage basin by seeing the drainage divide is a very important step in managing surface water.